When we are taking for u dash, so here you need to find out sigma fu dash square, because using this equal distance problem we need to identify. Finally, fourth step, now you can simplify this formula. Either you are doing a direct method or step deviation method or assume mean method. According to formula, we need to get u dash square. How we are getting? We already got fu dash. So just multiply with the respected u dash. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Natesh, lecturer in Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. So we are in the Unit 2, Section 4, third semester BCom, Measures of Variation and Skewness. Okay, today my agenda. So in the last two sections, I have covered absolute related to range, even quartile deviation, mean deviation also completed. Now moving forward for the next topic, absolute measure of dispersion, relative measure of variation or dispersion, both are same. Now under this, standard deviation which is going for the absolute and coefficient of variance which is related to relative measure of variance. Okay, moving forward, discrete ungrouped data. Now the steps will be applicable for the discrete group data. So according to the step, whatever it is there, so only when it is group is given, so the frequency is given. Now we are writing frequency. In case of ungrouped data, we are not writing for the frequency, but in case of group data, we are writing frequency. The step one, we need to find out according to formula, whatever it is there, either you are doing with the help of direct method or step deviation method. So here the step one, you need to find out sigma fx, because the frequency only it is there, that's what we need to multiply. So according to formula, sigma fx is required, even sigma fu is required. So in case of sigma fu dash, why we are taking? Because equal distance, each and every set of data, if you are getting equal distance, then we are writing a sigma fu dash. Once the step one is completed, now we are trying to go for the, according to formula, now we need to get sigma fx square, sigma fu square, sigma fu dash square. So that's what we are doing a step 2. Step 2, the formula basis only we are trying to getting this value, just constructing the table. Sigma fu, sigma fx square, sigma fu dash, sigma fu dash. So after getting this value, now we are going for the formula applying. So the formula, either you are doing with the help of direct method or step deviation method. So when you are applying for the step deviation method, the number is given more than 2 digits. So better I am suggesting to do with the help of step deviation method, because number will be reducing. So in case of a direct method we are applying, the number is a single digit, means we are doing. So according to formula, whatever it is required, step 1, step 2, it will cover. So now even the frequency, whatever it is given in the question, if you take the total, which is nothing but n is equal to frequency, sigma fx square divided by n minus sigma fx divided by n to the power of square. Okay, that is a direct method. So under step deviation, there are two types. So one is if you are not getting the equal distance from the number, okay, so directly we are writing sigma fu square divided by n, sigma fu divided by n to the power of square. So now according to the formula basis only, we are constructing the table using the x series and frequency. Now this one is, if the problem when the number is set of data is not equal distance, one data is not comparing with the next data which is not getting equal distance, so this formula we can apply. When the number of data, either discrete group data is given, the equal distance we are getting, for example 10, 20, 30, now we are getting 10, 10, 10 difference, no? That's what we are trying to apply in the step deviation. See, nothing, u dash means how you are getting u dash, x minus a divided by c. So that's what, according to formula basis only, we are constructing the table. So a standard deviation symbol under root sigma fu dash square divided by n minus sigma fu dash divided by n to the power of square. Outside of the square root we are writing C is a equal distance. Okay, now we are getting no 10 10 10 difference. Okay, ungrouped data, discrete method. So now which is looking like horizontal, from the whatever it is given, calculate standard deviation from the following data regarding of age of children. So which is age is nothing but your x you have to assume. So whatever it is horizontal it's given, so you are writing a vertical, so nothing, the age is considered x series. So from this formula whatever it is required, so we need to construct the table, that's it. So here sigma x square is there, here sigma x is there. So sigma x, the x series whatever it is given, directly if you take the total you are getting 60. So that is your, according to formula you are getting 60. Sigma x is equal to 60. Now according to formula here x square is required. So just multiply 2 times. Square you have to take 4 into 4 16, 3 into 3 9, 8 into 8 64, 6 into 6 36, 9 into 9 81, 10 into 10 100, 7 square 49, 3 square 9, 8 square 64, 2 square 4. Now you have to take this total, that is nothing but your sigma x square is equal to 438. Now we can simplify this formula. So in this place sigma x square I am writing 432 divided by number of item is given 10, minus sign, and sigma x plus we took the total for 60. Now 60 divided by 10 if you do take the square root, so one by one you have to simplify separately. So first one 432 divided by 10 if you do, you are getting 43.2, and 60 divided by 10 if you do 6 to the square 36, directly I can write here. So after subtracting I am getting here 7.2. So if you remove the square root using a square root button, so just we are getting 2.6832. This is your standard deviations value. So which is quite similar to absolute. So now in the last slide I have explained the discrete ungrouped data. Now under discrete group data standard deviation how to find out. So there is slight changes will be there in the first step and second step. Instead of writing sigma x, we are just adding for the f, because the frequency problem is given. So we need to find out according to formula whatever it is required, so which is completely depending on step 1 and step 2. So here in the formula sigma fx square and sigma fx is required. So in the first step we are trying to find out using a direct formula. Direct method means sigma fx. If you try to take the step deviations formula, sigma fu, instead of writing x plus I am writing u. How you can find out the u value? X minus a, assume value. So here the same thing, u dash y you are writing, because when each and every numbers are getting equal distance, okay, so then we need to write this formula, u dash is equal to x minus a divided by c. When we are trying to solve the problem you will get more clarity. So step 2 also same thing, here whatever it is required. So here the last problem only we consider for sigma x. So here what we need to, when we are taking for u dash, so here you need to find out sigma fu dash square, because using this equal distance problem we need to identify. So finally this formula which is related to step deviation, and this one is your direct method. So according to formula whatever it is required we need to construct the table, that's it. So moving forward here, so there is one example, calculate the standard deviation. Now here x series is given and even the frequency observations also given. So seeing the problem only we can understand this is like a discrete group data. So whatever it is there, so I need to construct according to formula whatever it is required. So we need to get fx, okay. In case of direct method we are writing this one is required, and in case of direct method fx square is required. If you try to solve using a step deviation, sigma f u or sigma f u dash, okay. So here square is required, sigma fu dash, because equal distance, the 10 difference we are getting, then you have to write. So again the formula is having sigma fu dash square is required. So according to formula we just want to construct the table. So here from the x series, because why I am suggesting, when the 2 digit or 3 digit is coming means better I am suggesting to do with the help of step deviations method. So in this case the x series marks is x series and frequency is there. So now immediately you have to take the total, because the formula containing a n, right? So that's what the capital letter N. The capital letter N is, so if you're taking the total of frequency, which is nothing but your N is equal to 15. So now with the help of 2 digits, so we are trying to solve using a step deviation. U dash, how we are getting, I have written here formula from the X series. Okay, anyone you can assume. So in this problem I have assumed 30 is a. Okay, you can assume anyone. So here see, from this 10 minus 30, 20 minus 20 minus 20 divided by 10, why you want to take? Because equal 10 10 10 10 difference you are getting. That's what see, first one 10 minus 30 divided by 10, so you are getting minus 2. Okay, so because see, 10 minus 30, 20 divided by 10, you are getting minus 2. Same thing, 20 minus 30, okay, 10 divided by 10, minus 1. Okay, 30 minus 30, 0. Okay, so directly we can write 0. 40 minus 30 plus 10 divided by 10, 1 plus 1 I am getting. And 50 minus 30, 20 divided by 10, I am getting 2. So once you are getting the U dash value, now respected frequency you just multiply according to formula whatever it is required. So minus 2 into 3, minus 6 we are getting. Minus 1 into 4, minus 4 we are getting. 5 into 0, 0. 2 into 1, 2. 1 into 2, 2. Now if you take the total, okay, now minus sign is a more. So that's what minus 6 I am getting. Now according to formula we need to get sigma fu dash square is required. So here nothing, fu dash already it is here. So you need to multiply u dash. Okay, so then u dash squares will be coming. U dash square. So now say minus 6 into minus 2, 12. Okay, minus into minus plus, 4 into 1, 4, 0, 0, 2 into 1, 2, 2, 2, 4. Now if you take this total, the plus sign, because minus multiply means plus only. After taking this total, okay, now we got fu dash minus 6, fu dash o square 22. Now in the last, after getting, we got fu dash and fu dash o square value. O square value is given in the previous slide. See, minus 6, here minus 6 and here plus 22. So here the according to formula we constructed the last slide, we got all the information. Now we are able to simplify. So here the sigma fu dash directly 22 we got divided by n, frequency total 15. So same thing, minus sign, sigma fu dash minus 6 we got with the help of a table. And even the n total frequency. So if you, then you have to take the C, because when you are writing u dash, always you need to consider C, the formula whatever it is required, all the information with the step by step. If you simplify, you are able to get standard deviation. Here 22 divided by 15, if you divide 1.46, minus 6 divided by 15, if you do 0.4 to the square. Okay, now into 10. So here now first you have to simplify this one, you have to take the square. So as it is, I am writing 1.46 minus 0.4 into 0.4, 0.16 I am getting. So after remove the square root value. So now if you subtract square root 1.3 into 10. Now first you have to remove the square root. I am getting 1.414. So now you have to multiply. Then final standard deviation 11.40. Moving forward. So here the standard deviation now we completed for the discrete ungrouped data and discrete group data. Now we are continuous series. Whenever the problem is given inclusive method, always you need to convert into exclusive data. So the step 1 from the continuous series, when it is given class interval 0 to 10, class interval is given. So definitely we need to take the midpoint, because everything is depending completely on the x value. So based on the x value only, from the class interval we are finding the midpoint first step. Second step, apply the formula, find the according to standard deviation formula whatever it is required. Either you are doing a direct method or step deviation method. So whenever the 2 digit is given, 2 or more digit is given, better I am suggesting with the help of step deviations only we are able to reduce the value. So here find the sigma fx or sigma fu dash. And a third step, find according to formula whatever it is required, you need to calculate one by one. Sigma fx square direct method, sigma fu dash square, it's a step deviation method. Now finally fourth step, now you can simplify this formula. Either you are doing a direct method or step deviation method or assume mean method. So this formula, according to formula, we need to construct. There is one problem in the next slide. So here find standard deviation from the following data. Class interval is given, okay, and even the frequency, always a continuous series, always which is a group data. So from this data, whatever it is given, now we need to construct according to formula whatever it is there. Moving forward, so here in the question, whatever it is given, class interval and frequency, I have written as it is. So from this class interval, I am finding a midpoint. How you can find out the midpoint? Midpoint very simple, lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. Lower limit 10, 10 plus 0, lower limit is 0, upper limit is 10. So 10 divided by 2, your midpoint will be 5. So same thing here also, 10 to 20 midpoint is 15. 20 to 30 midpoint is 25, 30 to 40 midpoint 35, 40 to 50 midpoint is 45, 50 to 60 55. So now you have to take the frequency total. The total n is equal to 92. Now once you are getting the data, now you need to find out u dash, because the formula is having a u dash and u dash square is required. So that's what here, u dash square and u dash. So now first I am finding a u dash. U dash, how we are finding? From the x series. Now we got a midpoint, right? So from this x series, I have assumed for 35 is your assume mean. So from the first 5 minus 35, 30, 30 divided by equal 10, 10 difference are there. So I am writing here, see, 5 minus 35 divided by 10 difference. Now we are getting minus 3. So same thing, 15 minus 35 divided by 10 minus 2, 25 minus 35 divided by 10 minus 1, 35 minus 35 0, 45 minus 35 I am getting 10, 10 divided by 10, so 1 I am getting, 55 minus 35 20, 20 divided by 10 2. Okay, once we are getting u dash, now you have to multiply with the frequency. So minus 3 into 7 minus 21, minus 2 into 12 minus 24, minus 1 into 18 minus 18, okay, 0 to 25 0, 16 into 1 16, 2 into 14 28. Now if you take this total, you are getting minus 19 we are getting, okay, because minus category sign is more compared to plus category. Now according to formula, we need to get u dash square. How we are getting? We already got fu dash, so just multiply with the respected u dash, okay, then u dash into u dash square is coming. So minus 21 into minus 3, minus into minus plus 21 into 3 63, 24 into 2 48, plus minus into minus plus only. So minus into minus plus 18 into 1 18, 0 0, 16 into 1 16, 28 into 2 56. After taking all this total, we are getting 201. Now we can apply the formula. According to formula, whatever it is required, we got completely. Okay, now fu dash square, sigma fu dash square, we got 201 divided by n plus, I am writing frequency total 92 minus fu dash, okay, how much we got? We got minus 19 divided by 92 n frequency. Take the square root one by one step. Okay, now if you divide, you are getting 2.18 minus sign 19 divided by 92. If you do minus category, minus into minus plus 0.05, take the square root into 10, because the formula is we are using with the help of step deviation formula. So now if you simplify, okay, now you have to subtract. We are getting 2.1775. Okay, now you have to remove the square root. That's what I am writing as it is class interval. Okay, so if you remove the square root, we are getting 1.47. After getting the square root, remove the square root. Now you will need to multiply with the class intervals width. So after multiplication, now we are getting standard deviation 14.7. Moving forward, now under absolute, okay, which is a relative. Now whatever we did in the last problem, which is completely depending for absolute measure of variation. Now coefficient of variation, which is always depending on the relative measures of variations or measures of dispersion. So here coefficient of variance, the step 1, because the coefficient formula is very simple, standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. So according to formula, we need to find out first one x bar is required. because the data set either discrete or group data, ungrouped data, okay, according to formula we are finding, because we need to follow the steps, standard deviation, what and all steps we followed, the same thing when you are trying to find out the standard deviation, the same steps you need to find out, which is completely based on the data set, what, which is group or ungroup, okay. So according to formula x bar you need to find out. So now after getting this x bar value and standard deviation, now we are finally applying the formula, coefficient of variation formula, standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. Now after second step is completed, now based on the data set what we are getting x bar, and we need to give a comment, okay. So x bar is, if it is calculated two set of data, cricketer A, cricketer B, team A, team B, okay, Rahul or Virendra, when we are writing a comment, so x bar, those who are getting greater x bar value, mean value, so they are better, okay. Now when we are trying to give a comment based on the more consistent coefficient, after calculating less than, if they are getting, so they are more consistent, you can decide here, okay. There is one question for this, okay. From the relative, the following are the runs scored by two cricketers on 10 innings, okay. Here the 10 innings data is given, cricketers A, cricketer B, both are x series only. X, when you are writing both are x, you have to write xa, xb, so just for understanding sake. So if you want to find out, according to formula, cv is equal to standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. Now how to find out, because in the data only we can decide which is discrete ungrouped data. So ungrouped data formula, very simple, standard deviation formula, okay. So I am writing one more time, standard deviation sigma x square divided by small letter n minus sign, okay. The same formula we are applying, okay. So moving forward, see the cricketers A, cricketers B, just your understanding I am writing xa and xb, okay. So this is after taking this formula, whatever it is required, the formula basis only, first the standard deviation in the last slide you got a clarity. So take the total, we are getting 439. Take the total B cricketer total, we are getting 459, because according to standard deviation we need to get a square. So that's what, 31 square 961, okay, 48 square 2304, like this you have to take the square. Finally we are getting cricketers A total sigma x square 22,057. Same thing applied for cricketer B also, but we are writing xb. Now take the square root, 51 into 51, we are getting 2601. 5 into 5 square, 25. Like this, if you take all this square root, now finally we are taking sigma x square b, total 32,301. Okay, after getting, now this is just for getting the value for standard deviation, even mean value. Now we need to find out mean value, because according to formula, whatever it is there, here see 439. So arithmetic mean for x bar A. So direct formula, okay, we are doing with the help of direct formula. So sigma x plus I am writing 439, because in the previous slide we got the total 439 divided by number of items. So the 10 innings they are specified. So if you divide, so then we are getting x bar value 43.9. So same thing applied for the cricketer B. Take the total, we already took the total 459 we got. So number of observation 10. So here same thing, 459 divided by 10, 45.9. So now mean also we got, even standard deviation with the help of formula, whatever it is required, we got already, okay, the same value, whatever it is a sigma x value, here it is there, but we need to get a sigma x square. So that's what we construct the table, square taking the square root, okay. So the square root to 22,057, okay, in case of cricketer A, cricketer B 32,301. So according to formula, whatever it is there, so we are simplifying cricketers A and cricketers B just for comparisons, okay. So at the time of comment, we are not considering a standard deviation. Now when we are commenting based on the x bar and the coefficient value, okay. So according to formula, I just want to write as it is 32,301 divided by 10, because in the previous we got this value. So we are just posting the value, and sigma x value same thing, 439 divided by 10. So one by one, stepwise you have to simplify. If you divide, you are getting 22,205.7. If you divide, you are getting 43.9. Take the square, okay, step by step, don't get confused here. So as it is, I am writing, first I want to remove the square root. So that's what I am getting, 1927.2. Okay. So now if you subtract, you are getting 278.49. If you remove the square root, the standard deviation of cricketers here, we are getting 16.688. So same formula, only we are writing standard deviation of B's. Okay. So sigma x square, formula is standard. Okay. If here A, just assume the formula is nothing, same A. Okay, now we are taking sigma x square for the cricketer B. Cricketer B total sigma x square 32,301. So the 32,301 divided by number of innings 10, and even sigma x square x value for 459. So 459 divided by 10, take the square root. Now first you have to simplify. We are getting 3,230. Okay. If you try to simplify one by one, from this we are getting this much, from this we are getting this much. Okay. So now you have to remove the square root. So that's what, 45.9 into 45.9, we are getting 2106.8. Once you subtract, you are getting 1123.29. Now you have to remove this square root, then we are getting 33.57. Now whatever we calculated, x bar value 43.9, 45.9, even coefficient value, now we are finding the coefficient of variations. So coefficient of variations, standard deviation of cricketer A, x bar A into, now standard deviation we got 16.68 divided by 43.9, because see the standard deviation, when we are try to solve the coefficient of variation of cricketers A, we need to consider standard deviation of cricketers A, standard deviation of cricketers B. So here the standard deviation with cricketers A, we are getting 16.68 divided by x bar, we are getting 43.9. So if you just cross multiply divided by 2, you are getting 37.99. So again the cricketers B also same thing, the standard deviation cricketers B, we are getting 33.51. So same thing I am writing here, 33.51 divided by x bar value, we are getting 45.9, standard cricketers B. So as it is, if you just simplify, we are getting 43%. Whatever we getting when you are writing a comment, so cricketers A, cricketers B, now remark one column. So x bar value, cricketers A we got 43.9. Cricketers B we are getting 45.9. So who is getting more? They are better. Okay. So x bar A, cricketer B is getting more. Okay, the symbols you have written more means this side. So B is a better scorer. So when you are writing a coefficient, the same thing what we calculated, 37.99, even 73. Those who are getting less coefficient, they are more consistent. Okay, in case of cricketers A is getting less, so cricketers A is a more consistent. Keep on watch for next session. Thank you.